All right, so we're back. Another week, another episode. Before we get into it, though, let me ask everyone, if you're watching this, just take a split second and press that like button. It really helps us, especially since it's a new channel. So press that like button. If you, for whatever reason, decide not to watch further than the first minute or whatever, a quick comment, just let us know. We want to know how we can get better, to bring these topics to you guys in a way that you enjoy, listening more. And if you do like it, leave a comment, say you guys are doing a great job, and share it with your friends and family. Yeah. All right. So today it's going to be immigration, a super complicated subject. We just did the Spanish.
Where do you get these? How do these topics come to your mind?
Well, I mean, obviously we look at what's trending, but also what affects our lives.
Yeah, our day to day.
Especially where we live in San Diego on the border. So we just did the Spanish version. We actually had to cut it at 45 minutes, and this won't be that long, don't worry.
Yes, trust me.
Yeah, we're gonna make it a lot shorter. And one of the reasons why was because there are so many parts, so many things that result in borders and the walls that we could go on for, we could do 10 episodes about this, each one dealing with different things. I mean, if that's something you guys want to see, let us know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, we'll go, from inequality to corruption from the government to all that stuff. But let's start off with saying, we're both of Mexican descent, and, I'm first generation American. Ivan here is, he should be first generation. Well, no, you would be
second generation.
Half generation, because your mom is
she's
born
so
you'd be second generation American. But that's an interesting story. I didn't know that about you. I mean, I've known you for so long, and I didn't know about that. Why don't you let people know?
Well, yeah, the thing of it is I was born in TJ, in Tijuana, but a lot of
that's in Mexico for those who don't know.
Yeah, if you live in the border town of San Diego or Tijuana, you know what TJ stands for, but TJ stands for Tijuana. Anyhow, I was born in Tijuana, but my mother, she was born in the States. She's stateside. She was born in San Bernardino, California. And
San Bernardino.
Yeah.
There was a
Riverside County.
I'll let you finish and then
go for it. No, say it.
No. I was reminded of a skit. I think it was Saturday Night Live. I forget what actor it was, but he's of Mexican descent, and he was at a party with people that weren't from Mexican descent, European descent, and so because they wanted to make him feel comfortable, supposedly, they would pronounce the Mexican words like you're doing. Like they'd say, "Oh, would you like a burrito?"
But you know what? It's like there's some Spanish words that I would chop them up if I try to say them or pronounce them in English. So I just rather go with pronouncing them in Spanish.
Okay.
And then part of it too is on purpose because I'm pocho or chicano, however you want to consider me, but. So I'll say it like that. Plus, it sounds sexier, I guess.
Okay.
From San Bernardino. Yeah, so she was born in San Bernardino. She was raised in TJ, in Tijuana, married in Tijuana. My father from Mexicali, another border city in Baja California, which is borders with El Centro, or Calexico, I should say. But he naturalized a while back, and my brother is born in Los Angeles, California, LA, and I was born in TJ. But yeah, my mom, she's born in the United States of America, and I could have been born in the United States of America, or I could have been born in Mexico, and I could have had citizenship as soon as I was born. But things didn't happen that way, and I am I'm gonna say this stupidly, but I'm very happy being Mexican. Of course, I was raised in San Diego since I was 6.
I mean, even if you had your American citizenship, you'd still be Mexican.
Yeah. I mean, my roots are Mexican.
I mean, American isn't, a nation. It's not a race.
I would
unless
even
you're Native
say
American.
it's a state of mind, right?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, but legally,
Yeah.
legally, it's your citizenship. It's not really your race. I mean, the only, I guess, American would be the Native American, right? So, anywho, why aren't you an American? What did you do when you were going through the paperwork?
I was 18. I don't know if you remember. They stole my green card out of your car, and I had to replace it. And when I was going to replace it, they said, well, why don't you, instead of replacing it, apply for citizenship? I was like, all right, whatever. So I did. I ended up replacing it and applying for citizenship. And I got my first letter on the mail, which required me to, go down to, to the offices, or I forget where I went. Anyhow, for pictures and fingerprints. That was the first step I took, and then they sent me another letter. I had to go back over there, fill out other paperwork, and then I got an appointment for an interview. I don't know if it was like the interview or another interview, but I was sitting down. I was drinking some beer. I think that
that had played a part.
Yeah, beer in my life was a disaster, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say the word, but I was like, forget it. I'm Mexican, and I tore the envelope up. And I tore it up and I threw it in the trash. I should have said, forget it, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Not Mexican, I'm stupid, and I'm going to rip this, and I'm not going to follow through with it. There's certain benefits that come with, naturalization. But again, the United States has been so good to me as a Mexican citizen with a legal residency throughout my life. They've, I could do anything except, I think there's certain government jobs I couldn't hold, but I've been able to go to, to school. I'm going to say I ended up doing my GED, but I could have gone to college. I could have done anything that I wanted, as a Mexican citizen with a legal residency. But still, there's a lot of benefits to being a naturalized citizen of the United States, which, now at my age, I'm looking into it now.
Yeah, I think, in my family, there's a lot of people who are, legal residents and aren't U.S. citizens. For example, my mother, I was born in the U.S. and she's lived here in the U.S. ever since, and she's still just a resident. She doesn't have she hasn't become a U.S. citizen. I think after a certain amount of time, they should just, as long as you request it, hey, I live here, I want to be a citizen. Yeah. I've lived here this long. They have your history, and it's okay. Here you go.
I mean, there's no way you could work without sooner or later paying your taxes.
Right.
So even.
And most people, I guess we're middle class, but when was the last time you actually did your taxes and had to write a check?
I think right now, because of all my history, I think I have to pay like $1,000 something from 2006 that I never took care of, but they caught on to me. Right,
but as far as and I had that issue, and I hadn't, because if you don't file, they'll assume you made so much and blah blah blah. But you can file, and it'll that'll get taken care of. But there was a few years in my life where I made more money than others that I had to pay, but I've been filing taxes since I was working. I started working at 16, and I think maybe 3 times I've had to write a check. And all the others I get refunds.
And even if you have to pay, there's payment plans you can do.
Yeah. So I think after a certain amount of time with your residence, you just say, hey, I live here. I'd like to get my citizenship. And
if you're wondering,
if you don't live here,
and if you're wondering what this conversation has to do with borders, it goes right into it, because we're from a immigrant family or descent at one point or another. So it's got everything to do with it. It's got to do with why people immigrate.
Yeah. But I mean, my point of view as a libertarian, ideally, and you know, in the perfect world, there would be no borders, because we're all born with the same capacity to accomplish whatever, you know, we put our minds to. And I think if every country or every government had the same idea as, you know what, let's let let's let the people, you know, do their thing, like kind of like the United States did when it was founded. I said, you know what, bring me whoever wants to come, let's go, let's get to work and let's build something. And it turned out to be, you know, the greatest country.
Right?
Yeah, it turned out to be the greatest country in the world, right? And that's because government got out of the way for the most part and let people do their thing. And so, like I said, I mean, there would be no borders, but unfortunately, I think now they're necessary.
Yeah.
Because especially where we live, I mean, we have Mexico literally minutes away, and we have family there, and we visit there, you know, a couple times a week.
Yeah.
You see the difference. And I was one of those people where I was of the idea that because of the un-American mindset of, hey, you know, let's get to work, let's make things happen. I went to Mexico and I opened a business, and it was successful for the most part, but I got tired of the corruption.
So it was successful on the business end.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you can do it, but there's so much corruption, so much bureaucracy, that you can't do it unless you give in to the corruption. And that was just something I wasn't happy with, because the more your business grows, guess what? The more corrupt you're going to have to.
The more you're going to have to pay out.
Yeah, the more you're going to have to pay, and the more you're going to have to, play around the laws and bend them, you know, and things like that. So that's why I decided, you know what? No, I'm going back to the States. But you know, I think once you experience living in another country, you realize, because I used to be, you know, I've gone through different phases in my life of, you know, how my political stance from, you know, the United States is the greatest country in the world, everywhere else is trash, to the United States is, you know, the root of all evil, to now where I say, you know, government really is the root of all evil, but the United States is still the best country in the world. Because that's where everybody wants to go to, and that's where you have the most possibilities, really. I'm not saying you can't be successful anywhere else, but that's where you're going to have the easiest time, you know, being successful.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say they help those that want to be helped, but then they also help those that don't want the help.
Yeah. No, and I mean, in the past administration, when they said, we're going to build the walls and we're going to become tough on you know, immigration, I thought, great. Maybe now, if the people can't, you know, because Mexico and other Latin countries, they have a financial incentive to send people to the U.S. because a lot of their economy runs on, you know, money that people send back, you know, dollars that people send back to their home countries, to their families. There's a lot of people that, you know, don't work. They live off of what their family members send them. And obviously the money goes into the economy and taxes and all that, and the corruption and all that. So they have a financial incentive. They don't want the borders, you know, they don't want them. But I think if we have those borders, then, and the people can't leave, they're going to be forced to look at themselves, at their government, and say, hey, you know what, you guys need to get out of the way. You need to get out of the way and let us accomplish this. So that's why I think, and I agree with borders now. I think they're a necessary evil, you know.
It might seem a bit of inhumane, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's private property. I mean, your house, you know, even your car, you're going to park it between two lines.
Yeah. I mean, now people want to say, oh, nationalist, which is basically, you know what? I'm going to take care of my country and pride in your country. People want to, oh, that's racist. I'm a Mexican American. There's not a racist bone in my body. And not because I'm a Mexican American. Because I'm an American, there's not a racist bone in my body.
I would say being raised in San Diego, going to school in the school districts in San Diego where you have so much diversity in races. I mean, we can't be racist.
Right.
I mean, I went to school with Filipinos, African Americans, whites, and Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 4 ethnic backgrounds in the same school.
Yeah.
So I was raised looking at my, fellow, student who's an African American to my right and a Filipina girl to my left, and in front of me an American, and me being Mexican. So I consider it very hard for us having a Mexican descent, being raised in San Diego with the different or the diversity in races, that you can be racist, and being for the border doesn't make you a racist.
No. I think it would be, it's one of those things where you say, oh, I know it hurts, but it's for your own good. Because like I said, it would, that was my initial thought when I heard that about the border wall and all that. And I was like, great, maybe now these countries will be forced to do right by their people because they can't just get rid of them. There are a lot of people, and I'm talking about the ones that send money back, which obviously are the people that go and work. Mm-hmm. And those are the kind of people you want in your country, mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of people that you don't want in your country. And why do you think, a lot of people send them over here? Other countries send them to the U.S. because they don't want them in their country. So
let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
All these people that came from, what is it, Honduras? Was it Honduras? Or El Salvador? One of those two. You think they came on their own, or is this a political agenda?
Oh.
I mean, because they went cross-country.
There's a lot of videos.
Some of them crossed 2 countries to get to, to the... Yeah. They're making it a small town in Tijuana, right at the border.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be where they were there with... nothing, then it was camping tents, and then now it's fenced.
Yeah.
So now it's actually a small town.
And why did it get fenced? Did you hear about why?
No.
Because people were getting raped, people were getting trafficked, people were getting beaten. All that was happening, and that's why they fenced it in for security. So, I mean, that's a little, a micro example about why you need borders and you need protection. There's bad people in the world.
Yeah.
We've got enough here in the U.S. So I think, each country, being nationalist is a good thing, because if you're strong, if your country's strong, then you can help others. Mm-hmm. And 2 strong countries, 2, how should I say, successful neighbors, are going to be good for each other. Yeah.
I mean, USA, Canada.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're almost a good fit, a perfect fit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The U.S., as far as economically, I guess economically, the level is more on the same level.
On the same.
But I think that's the only reason I agree with borders. One is for security, and the other is it'll force the home countries to take care of their people, and it's not a bad thing, and it's not a racist thing. And I think, we were using that example that we're not racist. I've gone to other countries. Mexico's a lot more racist than the U.S. I've known people from other races here in San Diego that they've come and they haven't been here that long, and they're extremely racist against other races because it's a cult. They're not used to seeing people. So they're not used to dealing with that. And whenever human nature, whenever you see something different or something that maybe you don't like, or customs
makes you uncomfortable.
that go against what you believe, it makes you uncomfortable, and you kind of, reject it. But like you said, we were born here, and it's the melting pot, right? I mean, we have all kinds of races and ethnicities and everything, and we're used to it.
Yeah. I tell you, if you're not from a border town, this is a whole different culture. I mean, because we're divided. Our cultures are Mexican-American culture that, it's just hard to explain, but we know what, certain words mean,
Mm-hmm.
even like English words that are, made up from a Spanish root. It's just weird. But, at the end of the day, I'm all for the borders.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if one day they tell me, hey, we're going to have to take this benefit, or however they would say it, being a legal resident, and you're going to have to stay in Mexico, what else is there to do? But, okay, well, I'm going to respect your laws.
Mm-hmm.
Why or who am I to change them?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's my whole thing, if you're going to come to the States, abide by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are written and the ones that aren't,
Yeah.
not to be like completely, manipulated by the government, which, I mean, we have different, opinions about the government. But if you're going to be in the States and you made us such a big sacrifice to be in the States, make it the best you can. But ultimately, if you want to make that fence or that border as tall as you want, it's the United States. It's your country. Do how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't blame, the people for wanting to come, for wanting a better life. I mean, I'd probably want to do it myself, because I don't believe in that just because I was born somewhere else. We're all one people, one world and all that. But there's something to be said about, different countries. And unfortunately, that's where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Between the U.S. and Mexico. I mean, we talk about Mexico because that's our heritage. But
I asked you this question in the Spanish version. Do you think this illegal immigration will ever stop?
Not as long as there's so much inequality between the two countries. Well, it's not even the two countries, because they come from, Central and South America as well. But in that those continents and others too, because it's not just people from, Central and South America. As long as there's so much inequality, so much corruption, and so much government taking advantage and robbing their people, people are always going to want to go or migrate to where there's more freedom, to where they can have a chance at a better life for themselves and for their their
like I say,
future descendants.
I'm not against that. I am against the legal immigration, though.
Yeah.
I might have not ever expressed it because I didn't have the proper output or the outlet or the space to let it out. But I'm not for the illegal immigration, and it's not because I don't want somebody to be better, but it's just for the fact that one act of illegally migrating to another country has a lot of other stuff who's going to bring you over? Mm-hmm. Who is he part of? So most of these people, they call them coyotes. I don't know how the word would be in English. Coyotes? No, but I don't know if that's the word. Traffickers?
Yeah, traffickers.
Human traffickers. Mm-hmm. They're mainly part of another organization that are bringing over drugs and
well, that's what I said. We could go on for many episodes because there's so many things that make
I like that idea though.
The border necessary.
Let's break it down and let's talk about how in different ways it affects. I mean, you're helping other criminal organizations get bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're like I said, we're a new channel. So if you comment and you request that, you might be the only one. So we might do it if you request it. So if that's something you're interested in,
you could agree and you could disagree as much as you can. Let us know what you like and what you don't think is right that
Yeah.
either one of us said.
We'll answer there's not a lot of people, like I said, commenting, so we'll answer your questions.
So if there's not a lot of people commenting, I mean, we pretty much rule this, right? We're governing this channel. So if you don't want to be governed, speak or forever hold.
Forever hold your peace. Yeah. So I kind of lost my train of thought here, but Anyway, if you guys are interested in seeing more, let us know. We said we were going to do it
15 minutes,
12 to 15 minutes. We're over 20 now, so we'll cut it.
No, but subscribe, please, and share.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe. It helps a lot.
Even if you don't like it, just share it. Maybe somebody else will like it.
Yeah, or share it to somebody so you can both.
I mean, we're only gonna get better.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Peace.